I'm Tharika from Questacon. Here we are on our lovely planet, going about our normal lives, needing energy, using energy, sometimes wasting energy. Our nation is driven by energy. We need energy. But most of it is provided by burning fossil fuels. What is the problem with that? When we burn fossil fuels, there are gases generated. We call these gases emissions. There's some nasty stuff produced here, but the main gas we're concerned about is called carbon dioxide, which you've probably heard of. We breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants depend on it for photosynthesis, and it is vital for our planet's survival. Why is it so important for our planet? Carbon dioxide absorbs heat. Having it in our atmosphere is similar to having a greenhouse in your garden. In a greenhouse, the glass lets in heat and light, but prevents some of the heat from leaving. Carbon dioxide in our atmosphere allows the planet to retain heat from the sun. A certain amount is essential to maintain our planet's normal climate. However, if there's too much carbon dioxide, then the atmosphere starts to absorb and trap too much heat. Current levels are so high that our global climate is becoming warmer and warmer. It's causing our climate to change. But we need to put this into context. Let's have a look at recent carbon dioxide levels in a famous graph known as the Keeling curve. This was created by a scientist called Charles Keeling, who started measuring atmospheric carbon dioxide levels in Hawaii in the 1950s. It shows a constant increase over the last 60 years. We can look back further in time by measuring gases trapped in Antarctic ice cores. We find that carbon dioxide levels are much higher now than they have been for 1,000 years. And if we look even further back in time, Earth hasn't seen this level of carbon dioxide for 1 million years. Scientists all over the world agree that increased carbon dioxide levels are the cause of the constant rise in our global temperature averages. This excess carbon dioxide comes from our dependence on fossil fuels for energy. So to deal with climate change, we need to change the way we use energy. So what can we do about this? There are several solutions. Number one, we use less energy. But historically, are we any good at doing that? It is possible by doing things like turning off lights when you aren't using them, hanging your clothes out on a washing line instead of using the dryer, using insulation to keep your house cooler or warmer. Small changes like this will help, but not by much. Residential energy only accounts for 7% of Australia's energy use. Number two, we can make use of different products that cost less energy. There are hidden energy costs in so many products we use every day. That coffee you're drinking is rather cheap, but think of all the things that had to be done to provide you with it. Let's look at an example. Let's pretend that Andy here is a fantastic product. Oh my goodness, look at her, she's wonderful. Who wouldn't want one? Well, first, we need to grow an Andy. So let's clear away some land, animals move aside, and now we need to plant an Andy seed. And we water it, and fertilize it, and we grow an Andy. But now we need to prune Andy, and insecticide, and now we can finally harvest Andy. We need to package them, and put some stamps on, and we can fly Andy halfway across the world to be bought by you. And now we unbox the Andy. Oh my goodness, isn't she wonderful? Look at that. Thank you, Andy. But 6 months later, I get sick of Andy and I throw them away. And in doing so, I throw away all of that energy that went into making Andy. This is an example of how we do things in a linear economy. This is wasteful of energy and resources. We need to change this model of consuming and think more about how we can move to a circular economy where we reduce, reuse, and recycle. Instead of throwing Andy away, maybe I give them to a second-hand shop, or recycle them, or reuse them as a dog chew toy. All of that ultimately saves us energy. Have you ever considered how many resources you use? And how would the planet Earth cope if everyone did the same as you? There is a website called footprintcalculator.org. And if you answer a number of questions about how you live, then you get an idea of how many planet Earths we would need if everyone lived like you. When I first did this, it told me that if everyone used up energy and resources like I did, we would require 4 Earths. We don't have 4 Earths. We only have 1. Since then, I've changed some of my habits and managed to bring that number down. There are things that you can do to reduce the energy and resources you use. Find out what can and can't be recycled locally. When shopping, Try to avoid unnecessary packaging or find items with recyclable packaging. When looking for fruit and veg, try buying local and seasonal produce. Next time you're at the shops, think about all the energy required to grow the things you like to eat. Maybe your diet could be more plant-based. When you're thinking about throwing something away, remember to use the 3 R's: reduce, recycle, and reuse. Every little bit helps. For more ideas about how to reduce emissions, keep watching.